In January 2020, when the new coronavirus began to spread, China implemented strict lockdowns, lengthy quarantines, and stringent testing that stretched the patience of Chinese citizens to the breaking point.
要命了，就刚刚5分钟前头，俺们叫我没几个了，现在突然之间，所有人都叫了，要死。
At the end of 2022, the price to maintain a zero-COVID posture became too high for Beijing's leaders.
And that's costly not just in terms of the actual money that you need to spend, but also in terms of creating a huge amount of frustration, really damaging the reputation of the leadership, and also having huge economic costs.
大佬这3年亏得也很厉害呀，因为没有人啊，我们希望放开呀，但是呢，我们放开了以后，我们也很担心，这段时间我们也不敢乱跑，就是虽然放开了，我们餐饮也还没有开，因为毕竟人很少嘛，先等几天嘛，观看什么情况。
Frustration spilled over in November when the largest protest since Tiananmen Square broke out in dozens of Chinese cities.
And that really brought things to a head and forced the government's hand.
In December, Beijing scrapped a few key pillars of zero COVID.
They included the mass testing booths that were set up across Chinese cities, and the people had to visit on a sort of 2 or 3 daily basis in order just to go about their daily lives. Also got rid of a tracing app that was used whenever you got on public transport. And they got rid of the requirements to go into centralized quarantine if you were a mild or less severe case of COVID.
After the virus was discovered in Wuhan, the entire city and province was locked down. Beijing seemed to be able to contain the virus. It worked for a time as the rest of the world dealt with soaring cases and deaths.
And so this was something of a point of pride for the Chinese Communist Party and its leader Xi Jinping. And he got really behind it, saying that this showed how superior Chinese governance is, really became a kind of political tool to bolster his legitimacy. But then that also meant that he was trapped into it. And as new variants came along that were more transmissible, became harder to contain, it became hard for him to balance this narrative of China being unique in being able to fight back the virus with this idea that he needed to leave it behind.
The question for China now is how well prepared their hospitals are. In early December, Chinese hospitals scrambled to contain emerging outbreaks across the country. Since the loosening of restrictions, hospitals are reporting a surge in patients, while hundreds of medical staffers have contracted the virus.
If you're in the secondary or even more remote areas, the higher level care capacity is probably not adequate. So there will be some people will do better, depends, and some people will be worse off depending on where you are.
Some experts now fear that a new COVID surge in a population that has not been exposed to the virus could lead to new variants.
That is mostly theoretical at this point, but I think that's something that both the Chinese government and the rest of the world will be watching very closely.